Hello there, it's Orc Team again, and today we're doing another book review. It will be one of the last ones I'll be doing for Rangers of the Shadow Deep. This is a Rangers of the Shadow Deep book again. This one has four smaller books all in one. I picked this one up because instead of the last one it was quite thin and small. This one has four. Plus it's a hardcover book, and I like hardcover and softcover. So that's my and also having four small books laying around instead of one big one, it's always better. So let's dive right in, and I will go through everything what's in here, and go and say my opinion of this as well. Right. So there are four books in here, four smaller books. It will say content, what's in there, go through briefly and so on and so forth. So the books are called Blood Moon, Temple of Madness, Ghost Stone, and Carcerate. That's it. Thank you, Carcerate. I knew I'd get that at the end. Next, start with Blood Moon. The Blood Moon is basically a one scenario mission. And it's based around werewolves. You can't miss werewolves. Everybody likes werewolves. Everybody likes fighting against it. Well, not fighting against them because they're mostly quite nasty. But you can't have a fantasy book game without werewolf. Same with vampires. But I don't think there's any vampires in here yet. Officially, you give a letter and you just go off as a ranger to do something with a letter someone gave you. On your way, you come across some villagers that have been attacked by a werewolf, and they said please help them go. One, you do not have the companions with you, so you have none of. If they're really good, you don't have them. You're by yourself. On the way going to the village, you meet the town militia, or well, what's left of them, and it's four guys. So you choose. And that you and them will go to, they tell you the werewolves at Manor House. So you and what's left of the town militia will go to the Manor House to defeat the werewolf. The four militia companions you do find, there will come your companions. All four are slightly different. One is like a retired soldier. One's I think is a woodcutter, one and so on and so forth. You can have these companions later in your in your companion list. They have points and so on and so forth, so you can have them. The difference is most people like making their own up, but they're slightly different and have names, and there are special models from them out there from the company that makes them. But a twist in the game. When you defeat the first werewolf, you are discovering clue markers, and you're investigating and realise there are two werewolves. So one of the companions that you find turns into a werewolf. It could be any of them, or one of them, you don't know, it depends. And then when he turns, then you have to defeat that. So obviously you do lose one of them if you want to carry on making them. If you want them in your companion in your companion list, so one of them will automatically lose. And when you defeat both werewolves, or try to, or you lose, that's the end of the mission. There's one extra enemy. I think it's a grey wolf, or dire wolf, or grey wolf in there as well for stats, and you got the stats of the four companions. And really, that's it. Really, it's nothing too exciting about the book. The first one, Blood Moon, but it adds a couple man-made, already made companions you could use later on, and that's it. When you're playing with more rangers, I saved another one. You have one companion. The third, if you have a third ranger, you have no companions, and the fourth, you have no companion with them because it would be too easy. They do have a difficult level up, so if you're higher level, say you're higher, then I think it's 10. Then have enough offense list in there to make it more difficult, more challenging. So they do thought that. It's a nice little one mission, and it's always, and people love to do stuff with werewolves, so that's something different. Right, the second book, Temple of Madness. This is when they started to put in more of to do with spells. If you have the original rule book of Range of the Shadow, not the deluxe version or the new version like I've already showed that. This is when more spells, a couple more items of range you could have at the beginning, and more, I think, range of feats to do with spell ability. But all of that's in the new rule book if you have got it. So if you don't, I do recommend getting at least that, because you can have a better caster or wizard as a ranger. So I think the couple first pages, again, this is introduction to it, saying what new hero abilities is coming, and the physical, even big list is spellcaster, and add to it. Again, they have an induction to it. I tell you, the new range of spells are nice, and also they can be different than the main rulebook. I noticed in here Armourer only gets +1, but in the main new rulebook does +2, so do keep eye, it has changed throughout the years. Also, this book is good for one more thing. You have 4 added companions. You have a battle mage. It's different to the one in the main rule, but the consular, because they're better fighting, have more armor, less will, and less health, but they have a hand weapon and light armor enough, and they have 1 spell that's fireball. So it's something different. They're only 20 points for your squads. It's something different, but something nice. You have a healer for 15, very basic. I think they're very weak. They have 2 heal spells, but you can +5 to up to 20 to have 3. So that's what they are. They're 50, they're a medic, they stand in the back and heal you, and that is what they do. They're not gonna run in that action and try to fight something. I wouldn't recommend it. They got a illusion. He's quite interesting. He's fight 1, will +2, health 12. But what they do, he has 3 spells. He's got smoke, teleport, and transport. So it's more of an illusion zone. He can move away or help. So he's very defensive. But for 25, so really good. And this is another companion. Is the spy. This is one of my favourite ones. It's so different, it's so unique, it's so interesting. He's 25 round points for your companions. He's fight +3, shoot none, armor 11, will +4, health 12. He has hand weapon, pick lock +3, stealth +3, but he's got spell of distraction. He is very unusual, but a good fighter. So he's like a rogue, but not as skillful as a rogue, but it's a bit better fighter. I do think this spy is very interesting and very fun. I love the idea. I would like a spy, hands down. Maybe further down the line, but wait and see. Extra equipment in here, more to do if you're ranger, more spell usually got a wand like a wizard's staff, and they do different things, a holy spell book, holy items, so on and so forth. So it's really interesting. I do some of these stuff I really do like. I definitely the ones I recommend. And in here it's a whole new campaign. It's for I think level 5 and 15 above for rangers, so it's not a beginner one, but it's a lot of campaign in there, and I haven't read through, sat down, but it looks quite interesting, quite fun, and it's just something more to carry on your ranger journey. The next one is called sorry, my bad. It's called Ghost Stone. This one cuts down too. couple of the bigger ones is for rangers or level 0 to 5. Then they got some hard levels for 10 to 15. So it cuts it down. They do have one added companion. She is a ready-made one, very expensive. I think if you play some of these missions, you have to take her. I think I've read that. But she's very good, very strong, but she's like 40. So very, very heavily. Again, a lot more new missions to do this. I think this is when the cult tests and so on and so forth comes in, and some of them do look really fun and quite interesting to do. Might do a couple of the lower ones to just twist it up after something and twist something around, make something different. So I do really like this. It's basically just a lot more missions. But one thing they do have in this book that's making it slightly different is they have 52 unique weapons armor, I should say. So if you find a treasure and you roll on the dice and you've got a magical weapon armor, you can choose to pick from this book. Then the basic rule book of a D20. The difference between this book, I said the 52, and how you pick which one you find. You don't pick, you choose. You pick still random. Again, you need to use your pack of cards, shuffle them, and I got Queen of Hearts. So you go through and check where the Queen of Hearts is. Go 6 of Hearts, 7 of Hearts, Jack of Hearts, and Queen of Hearts. Here we go. It's an enchanted hand weapon. It's just a brief describing of the weapon. The head of this warhammer is flat on one side, but curved down to a wicked point on the other side. Then, underneath it, it will have something unusual. A lot of them do have armory plus 12 what you need to roll. This one is slightly different. It has read rooms 12. Once per scenario, a figure can carry this weapon, may add +1 to the swim roll. This discover can make after this dice is rolled, and then you roll an 18. This weapon has magic 3, so it can help you swim for once per game, or when you realise it does, it has massive ability 3 times. It's really not so they are so unique. Some of them could be there's a crossbow in there, has a hidden herb pouch, so officially you can hold a added item like a herb item like a potion or herb into your crossbow. The one thing I've not read properly, it doesn't say you only can roll on the chart once. In my opinion, the longer you have a weapon, you realise more when you clean it or maintaining it after each game or for a length of time. You realise more of it. You realise it's more special, more unique. Because if you fail the first time, you don't get it. But how I'm in my campaign, every end in a game, I'll be rolling a chart to check if I can work out, and it will make it easier because the longer you have something, you realise it more. Then if you got the crossbow, it's a hidden power. So when you clean it, you're gonna notice, oh, what does this thing do? Oh, it pokes open. Oh, this is useful. So this is how I want to do it. It's just a little twist, but that's how it works. So a unique of 52 items, 2 armor, crossbows, quivers, and anything else to put in. I have not read them all, but there's so many. And the last one is, I said, a cover rate. It's officially, they do recommend this story, the last one, if you fail a mission. So you got captured. So if you mess up, use this one. I didn't know nothing about it when I read it, but then I found out going into it, when you fail a mission, you have a chance to get a new companion, and this companion to me is very interesting. So I want to try to lose one mission to get him. He can die in the mission, and it's so I think it's called Goblin, and he's an ogre. He can die in it because he only he's very weak when you find him and you both try and escape. But the difference is he can come out with you. You find him and he survives, and he does. I think I have read it. He does join your ranger company. So you have a ogre running around for it with you, and to me that is so nice. But you have to lose a mission, him survive and get him. So it's quite unusual. So yes, and it's basically you go through a couple. I think it's 2 missions in here, maybe 3. A new couple more bad guys, but otherwise that's just it. It's a really nice book. I do like it. I do like when they have a lot of small books put in one. And the good thing is it says adventure. You can say adventure book, and he says the word 1 on it. So hopefully that can do more. Because what I would do is sell my ones that go for the books instead of a lot of new ones that I want in here. I'm really glad to pick this up. This is, I think, really new. It came out maybe last year sometime, maybe November time. So this is not that old, and I'm glad to pick it up. So if it's got instead of picking 1 or 2 up, now I've got 4. And some of the stuff really good in there. Definitely more missions, definitely more companions, definitely the weapons. So yeah, I'm looking forward to start using some of the stuff in here. For by itself, if you've got one of the older rule books, if you not have got any of these books, but most people are in, or if you knew and you picked up the new rule book, I do recommend buying this next, without a doubt, than anything, because it has 4 books in one. So I do recommend. So to my opinion, out of 10, how useful this is, and so many more missions, a couple more companions, the weapons, and also the extra missions. If you lose, you've got something to go by it. I do give this one an 8 to join with of Carry On Rangers of the Shadow. I do make this one a good solid 8. Having that many books, what it does and what it can make a difference for your journey through Rangers with going through Shadow Deep. I do recommend it. If you're a big fan of this game, buy this. Definitely the hard copy one, and to me, it's not a hard brainer. I hope you enjoy this. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you again. Many thanks.